My name is AJ Jaden, and I like to present at the Oaklawn Tedx talk here in Dallas. My first question: what am I passionate about? What is my idea? And with the theme of the TEDx talk, Tubla Rasa, Latin for blank slate, my idea would to be to grow your blank slate. See, I'm very passionate about traveling, socializing with people. I always tell people there's a difference for me between networking and socializing with people. Networking, you're trying to get something out of someone. Where socializing, you're able to just talk to them about anything. It could be the weather, it could be about sports, it could be about anything. Growing up in Asia for 11 years was very interesting. It's not your typical blonde hair, blue eyes, kid from Iowa, typical story. I moved 9 times in my life to 7 different cities, all by the time I was 13 years old. I learned how to talk to people in a crowd, to remember names, to know something about someone, and how you can remember who they are. So I would always tell people, let's go talk to this person. Whoa, I don't know their name. I don't know. I'm like, let's just go and talk to them. And growing up, traveling so much, everything we did as a family involved talking to someone new. Whether it was other families that were expats, other people that were traveling that were in the same boat as us. This all led to my first job with Nike, an internship. I was in China, and there was a gentleman sitting at a club at 1 a.m., and he was lonely, and I started talking to him. Not many people would do that, especially in a foreign city, and you're out late, and he ended up working for Nike. Long story short, and he said, come to my hotel room tomorrow, I'll show you what I do. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, this is how the movie Taken gets started. Didn't. So I went to the Ritz-Carlton, went up to his room, and walked in, knocked on the door, and there is Kevin Durant and my future boss, Christopher Thomas, sitting there. And it was just that moment of reaching out to people. So I want to encourage people, not just with having a blank slate of where you go, but grow with it and show people and encourage people and say, this is what I want to help you with. Because you're always learning something. And that's why with growing your blank slate, you're not just going from place to place completely blank, but you're building onto that and you're encouraging everyone to kind of follow suit. Same with me with bow ties. Anytime I traveled abroad, I would give people bow ties in return, so that way when I would come back, we'd all wear bow ties out. So I always have a bow tie from different countries and different friends. Which leads me to my second answer for question 2, which is, what does TED or TEDx talks mean to you and why? At Iowa State, I got 2 majors and 2 minors. International Business and Marketing with a minor in Leadership and a minor in Mandarin. Now, this is all thanks to Clint Stevens, who was one of my big mentors here at Iowa State. It took me 3 different meetings freshman year to finally say, I want to learn about this leadership certificate that he was just starting. And every week we would watch a different TED Talk. And it started to not just in classes I would watch them, but I'd learn from them and understand, well, how are they getting up there and talking about what they're doing? And there's always one that will always remember me. And it's called A Single Story by, and I apologize, I'm going to butcher this name, Chimamanda Adichie. And we watched this in 2013. And how she was so passionate and how there were so many other videos about it just surprised me. And that was like, I want to be a part of that. I want to do that next. And then another one was Puzzle Motivation by Dan Pink. And TEDx Talks and TED Talks, they all bring something to the table, something different, regardless of age. And in the Puzzle Motivation, you just kept trying and trying, and Dan really got involved with everyone. It was one of the older TED Talks. And that's something where, regardless of how old you are or where you are in your life, there's always something you can talk to people. And my grandmother would always say, listen more than you speak, as you have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use that ratio. But why a TED Talk and why it's so meaningful to me? I want to give back. Clint Stevens has done phenomenal, and he has really helped shape me to who I am today. And because of him, we've talked about possibly doing TED Talks. There was a TEDx talk at Iowa State, and I actually was not able to attend the event. I went home for a family emergency, so I wasn't able to. And at leadership conferences, I would actually present different talks, and one was just learning to say hi to people, and remembering their name. How do you engage someone? How do you, everyone's scared of asking, "Hey, how are you?" or "What's up?" And the typical response is, "Oh, not much," and you continue on your way. Whereas with Clint, if you asked him, "Hey, how are things?" he'd go on this rant. And it really got me thinking of when people ask, how are you doing today? I always say, living the dream. And it could be a bad dream, it could be a great dream, but it doesn't really matter. So that's where it leads me to my final answer for question 3. Why Oaklawn TEDx talk here in Dallas? Well, one, I just moved here. So for me to bring this new idea, my meaning of growing your blank slate, it's a great opportunity, one, to really understand Dallas, as Dallas is one of the best places to move and one of the growing places according to Forbes. But I want to give back. And this meaning of blank slate has so many different ways to talk to people and explain how you feel. For me, this would be something to show Clint, hey, I actually learned something in your class. Hey, I'm actually applying what I've learned throughout my whole life, and thank my parents of, listen, it was hard growing up. You wouldn't think moving from South Korea to Vietnam, Singapore, Japan, Hong Kong, China, to the U.S. would be easy. But because of that, and working in China, and going back, and keeping in touch with friends from Europe and South America, and seeing them once a month, and just growing your slate, people don't understand the connection everyone has. Age is something that a lot of people look at, and I've never let that derail me. Right now, in our international department, which is where I work for BNSF Logistics, I'm the youngest one by 13 years. As a freshman, I got an internship in China. Age is not something that I let derail me or tell me you can't do it. I use it to motivate me. So with that being in Dallas, there's only room to grow. Plus, it's a meaningful message. I want people to walk out of this saying, he really was able to touch us. He was really able to, with his stories, with his meaning of how did he talk to people? How did he grow his slate? Well, I can tell you, it takes time. And it doesn't have to be going abroad or living abroad. It could be just in the city, meeting someone at dinner, meeting someone at an event, meeting someone at work or on the street. Everyone has a story and everyone has a blank slate to learn and to grow from that. And that's what I want to do. I want to show everyone that there is opportunity. You can meet so many people and grow your slate. So I would like to present with the Oaklawn, and I look forward to hearing from the TEDx judges with their responses.